Visiting the fattest, most cigarette addicted, and least visited country. Is this the same guy? This guy just goes to all of the paradises, doesn't he? Nauru. Wait. I recognize the name of this country back when I was learning the name of every country for that game. It's in it's like off of what is the name of those islands that are like north of Australia, New Zealand? Wait, is that where it is actually? The Polynesian? No. Fuck. No. Now I'm confused. I think that's where it is. The Micronesia? Micronesia, maybe, yeah. Fuck, I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, this is a pretty long video, but I'm actually interested in this.
Nauru.
Oh, go ahead. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't hear that either. I think all my audio stuff is broken because of weird reasons. Hold on, I'll get you back.
Cerveza Cristal.
All right, that was really fucking loud. Jesus Christ.
Cerveza Cristal.
Better.
Located in
it's not by Fiji, is it?
middle of the vast waters of the Pacific Ocean and appearing just as a tiny dot on the map. It's the smallest independent republic. Hardly 200
I was right about the playstyle.
People make their way to this country each year. I began this journey by arriving at Istanbul airport 3 hours early. I first flew to San Francisco in 13.5 hours. After a 7-hour layover, I took another long 13-hour flight to Nadi in the Fiji Islands and then waited again for a 7-hour layover. With nearly 75% of
would you guys have preferred if you just used like AITTS instead?
Seats unoccupied, the flight to Nauru from Nadi took 4.5 hours.
That just feels so impersonal, right?
My 48-hour endless journey finally came to an end. This is the least visited country in the world. Even the closest countries are thousands of kilometers away from here. Once I set foot on the island, I have to wait for the next flight to leave, which is scheduled almost a week later.
Damn.
Sea travel is not an option either. Nauru is surrounded by massive coral reefs, preventing large ships from approaching the shore. Until recently,
fuck, I might have actually seen this video off stream.
The locals on this isolated island had so much wealth that they didn't even know what to do with it. Once reaching phosphate deposits in 1975, Nauru became the country with the highest GDP per capita in the world. Today, however, in these destroyed lands where no vegetables can grow, processed and fatty foods have become the norm. Topping global charts, Nauru is recognized by the World's Obesity Federation as the world's most obese country, with around 60% of its citizens are obese. The World Health Organization also reports that Nauru has the highest cigarette consumption.
More than half of them
The government's effort to keep foreign media away from the country is quite obvious. After going through a month-long procedure in which I presented countless documents, I could hardly get a tourist visa. While the regular application fee is $50 Australian, an astronomical amount of 8,000 Australian dollars is demanded from journalists and media representatives as a deterrent. The police immediately took my drone I was carrying as I entered the country. You might have noticed something odd in the island's aerial perspective. They discouraged capturing Nauru from the sky. Filming here won't be easy because of a dirty truth that Nauru has been trying to hide, which you'll come to learn in the following scenes. I am in the Yaran region right now. Since the runway area and the driveway area are right next to each other, it's usual for the cars to give way to airplanes here.
Damn.
Pedestrians are warned against jet blast occurring during landing and takeoff.
Yo, but Kitty, I'm a bit better, yeah.
So small that the strip-shaped airport stretches across the entire southwest coast of the island.
What you see here is airport. If I want to get inside, I could just jump over this fence and I could do it.
The total area of the island is only 21 square kilometers or 8 square miles. It takes a maximum of 20 minutes to drive the whole country by car, and every journey returns to its starting point as there is only one ring road. The police are on patrol all the time. As I don't want to draw attention, I've reached out to the only tourism agency in the country, and I will begin to explore the island with a guide. According to the agency, only 1 or 2 tourists come to the island in a month, so the real numbers are way lower than those stated on the internet.
Looks nice though.
What do you do in your free time on the island?
Volleyball.
So what do you do in your free time on the island?
Anything we want to do.
Like what?
Fishing, sleeping, eating.
Type of internet do you think they get here?
1, 2, 3.
Sandball.
Get out of here, boy.
Although it is not often visited by people, Nauru has been a favorite stop for migratory birds for centuries. While the island was thought to have limited resources, its soil contained a treasure called guano made of bird droppings and marine microorganisms. In 1899, German geologist Albert Ellis discovered that this plateau had high-quality phosphate reserves. Once as valuable as gold, phosphate is a raw material boosting productivity in agriculture, and during the First World War, Australia quickly annexed and turned Nauru into an overseas mining field. Except for Japan's brief occupation in 1942, the extracted phosphate was sold to the world for years at extremely low prices.
Some old people say that this cell here, Japanese used to pile people in and then close it up, put some gasoline from
What the
rooftop
fuck?
and then burn them in there. Those who don't want to work for them.
This railroad, which time is about to erase, was constructed
Jesus,
in 1907 to transport phosphate mines from the land's interior to the harbor on the western coast. By the time Nauru gained independence in 1968, 35 million metric tons of phosphate had left from its shores. It's hard to believe, but in the past century, the fruits and vegetables that found their way onto the tables of many people around
That's
the
a pretty
world were
toxic
grown
amount.
with the phosphate extracted from the soil of this tiny island. After gaining independence, Nauru obtained significant wealth, and many Naurans whose lands would be used for phosphate mining quitted their job and began counting down the days to become millionaires. Thousands of workers from China and other Pacific islands were brought to work in the dirty, hot and tough conditions of the phosphate mines. Nauru had a per capita income of around $176,000 by the year 1975, whereas in the world's leading economy, the United States had around $44,000, taking into account today's inflation rates. Nauru managed to
But
establish
were all the people wealthy though, or was it just like held by like one guy?
a
Welfare
state
state.
where there were no taxes.
Whoa.
Education, transportation, healthcare services,
They were
and
all
even
rich.
housing were all provided free of charge.
I've seen my grandma come out of the bank with the pillowcase. They put all their money inside and just walk out with the money. Then it all
Damn.
up.
I heard that there was a police officer who bought a Lamborghini, but he realized that he did not fit into the
Yes.
car and dumped it. Is it true?
Yes, that's
What?
true. Even
big
some
race.
of the cars are bought for just decorations.
As Naurans suddenly become wealthy, a frenzy of consumption overtook them,
no.
and this small island was filled with the latest
Is that a Rolls Royce? What is that?
car models. Along the roadside, we came across a collection of abandoned luxury cars from the past: Cadillacs, Jeeps, Land Rovers. These are just a few of the vehicles that the island residents once used for speed and amusement on this road. It is almost like a car graveyard here. The layer of rust on them indicates how distant the days of glory are. Ever since I got here, the natives have been warning me to watch out for the packs of stray pitbulls roaming around
Oh,
the road. Once a
shit.
popular breed, some islanders eagerly adopted these dogs.
Boy, that
and
is terrifying.
left them on the streets. Along with the dogs, more animals that were not originally present in Nauru were also brought in over time. Cat, chickens, and pigs are animals that the islanders have become familiar with relatively recently. When miners uprooted the trees and excavated fertile soil, all living organisms were harmed. It's neither suitable for agriculture nor construction, and Naurans are suffering dire
Wow,
consequences
they
of
fucked
this
up
problem.
hard.
Nauru's terrain is covered with pits, some as deep as 15 meters or 49 feet, and limestone peaks extending from the
They
center
could have
of
used all that money to make it like a super big tourist destination and then farm cash off of that. Or maybe just don't destroy the soil, I guess.
the island to the coastal areas. No agricultural products can thrive in this barren land with its high level of acidity. Naurans depend on highly processed canned food from overseas, mostly imported from Australia, to sustain themselves. The average life expectancy of the people of Nauru is 64 years. A poor quality diet has made Nauru hold the title of the world's most obese nation for years. This
Sheesh.
island, which was not yet discovered by the Western world 150 years ago, was self-sufficient, but now they outsource everything. Here, 97%
Damn.
of men and 94% of women
What a
are
sad
overweight
story.
or obese. The obesity issue in Nauru is like an epidemic. It's everywhere.
Say that again? 97% of men and 94% of women are overweight or obese.
Women are overweight or obese. The obesity issue in Nauru is like an epidemic. It's everywhere.
What the
On the
fuck?
streets, in the restaurants, at the markets, I see people struggling with extra weight. Within a population where 45% suffer from diabetes,
Jesus.
amputations are common. There are awareness-raising banners all around the country. The store shelves are empty, as you can see. Products are imported here every 6 weeks. It's a luxury to have fresh fruits and vegetables on the island. A head of cauliflower is priced at 18 Australian dollars, and a watermelon costs 61 Australian dollars.
Yo, what's the conversion rate of dollarinos to regular dollars?
Many residents enjoy consuming meat products that Western countries refuse to sell to their own people and instead market them as turkey tails to Nauruans. This part of the animal, which is 75% pure fat, is far from being nutritious.
Three Australian to...
Lack of living space is another drawback of phosphate mining. The destruction has left 80% of
It's
Nauru
$40
uninhabitable, squeezing its estimated 14,000 residents into a coastal area of just 4 square
$40
kilometers
watermelon.
or 1.5 square miles. This is Boada Lagoon, the only untouched area on the island that contains the original flora. It opens a door to the past. Nauru was once filled with this plant cover, but now it's all vanished. Here it's still possible to see banana trees, pandanus trees, and pineapple plants. Rising like sculptures,
What a shame.
the coral rock formations on Nauru's coastline reach up to 5 meters or 16 feet above the sea. The ocean floor is covered by dead coral rocks that extend about 200 meters from the shore, making it impossible for large ships to dock. Many of these are underwater and become visible only when the sea recedes. This makes it possible for the people to walk up to hundreds of meters in water and hunt fish. With the destruction of trees, average temperatures have increased to around 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit all year round. On the island, influenced by the monsoon wind season, rain and time flow as one. However, Nauru lacks any rivers or streams. Islanders have limited access to fresh water. The country produces 2 million liters of drinking water daily by treating ocean water using reverse osmosis at these desalination plants.
Cool.
There is an underground lake named Mokoa Well. Finding the entrance to this cave without the help of a local
Well,
is
well,
challenging,
well.
as its entrance
What
is
do we have
quite
here?
narrow. During times of war, the people of Nauru use this place both as a shelter and to access drinking water. It's filled with cans and pieces of glass. This underground lake is no longer a reliable supply of drinking water.
Damn.
What was the religion?
They've ruined it.
It's the god here. There's the altar on the top side. If they give it food, it will come into life and then it will bring them what they were asking for.
Is there anyone who still believes in Buddha?
Some, they believe that this water here, and they've witnessed that if you come and take a dip, it will heal your skin or maybe some other diseases.
Nice.
There's no official capital city in the country. However, Yaran district
Very
contains
scientific.
all of the institutions such as the Parliament House, embassies, the country's only police station, fire department, and the airport. There are only 11 schools here, including 3 high schools and a state university. Almost everyone on the island is fluent in English. The locals speak
That
Nauruan
fucking
as
plate. Did you see that plate? What even is that, dude? It's a well-filled plate.
in English. The locals speak Nauruan as their first language. For example, the name Nauru itself
Booking, yeah.
originates from Nauruan term Anoero, which means I go to the beach.
How do you say hello?
Waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Right thing.
How about
Got a
how are
golden
you?
tooth.
Come on, come on, come on.
I came to the Parliament building where Nauru is governed. Contrary to the expected formal setting, it reflects the relaxed atmosphere of the island. There was no security at the
Hello.
entrance, and I have been allowed to take photos and videos with my phone. With only 19 seats, Nauru's parliament is one of the smallest in the
Oh, that's
world.
cute.
If those here knew about the scenes I will show you later in the video, they would probably think twice about letting me be here. By the 1970s, the Nauru government realized that their phosphate reserves ending, and they mirrored oil-rich Middle Eastern nations by investing in overseas properties, including Nauru House in Melbourne, Nauru Tower in Hawaii, Pacific Star Hotel in Guam, Pacific House in Washington, the Grand Pacific Hotel in Fiji, and many more. However, corruption and mismanagement put the government into a deficit of millions of dollars per year throughout the 1990s, and the savings from the phosphate quickly went up in smoke. In an effort to sustain
Oh,
its welfare,
no.
the government aimed to turn the country into a tax haven and got involved in a money laundering
Oh,
scandal with
no.
drug cartels, the Russian mafia, and organizations
Oh,
like
no.
Al-Qaeda. Nauru issued license to over
This is getting worse and
400
worse.
foreign banks under a system that didn't require branching and allowed optional record keeping. During that period, the Russian mafia alone laundered an estimate of $70 billion through the banks in Nauru. As a result of international pressures, the country put an end to illegal offshore banking activities and has been compelled to use a cash-based economy since 2004. The Australian dollar is the official currency of Nauru. A few and only ATMs in the country don't have money either. I brought some cash with me because credit cards are also not accepted here. Following
Interesting.
efforts to prevent money laundering, only one bank, which is Australian, currently operates in the country. As the year 2000 approached, phosphate reserves had run dry and phosphate export fell to 1% compared to its peak
Damn.
period. The country's central bank collapsed and its properties abroad were sold off one by one.
We see the excavation machines in action as we move through the topside. The country still continues to extract phosphate on a small scale.
If they discover another phosphate mine here, will you support mining it?
I'll just say leave the nature alone.
True.
gonna run up. Digging to the ground, we're gonna sink.
52% of the population lives at or below the poverty line and tries to survive on
That's
aid from the
crazy,
church.
dude.
In
What a
low-income
180. They were buying like Lambos and dumping them because they didn't like them, and now this. This is insane.
areas,
Country is this? Nauru.
stress triggers high levels of tobacco consumption. Roughly 1 out of every 2 individuals above the age of 15 consume cigarettes on the island. There are a
There it
total of
goes.
5 beaches on the island, and they have been
Norway's done it well with their oil fund.
partially littered with rubber tires and trash. Nauru agreed to accept unwanted refugees from Australia in exchange for financial support in 2001. Around 1,000 refugees, mostly of Afghan, Iraqi, and Iranian descent, were transported to Nauru and detained for an indefinite period. On the top side, 3 refugee camps were established. People were forced to stay in plastic tents for years under the scorching sun without regular access to clean water. Many tried to escape from inhuman, miserable conditions and uncertain future by ending their lives. The ones who suffered the most from this situation
Oh,
were
no.
the children, who made up the majority of the camps. Australia was spending an average of $550 million each year to maintain these camps. In other words, the Nauru government made a profit of $500,000 for each refugee held captive on the island.
As I tried to get to these hidden areas, suddenly barricades appeared.
Are they still
in my
there?
way. They had blocked all the roads leading to the camps located in the 3 different spots in the top side. I found a way to shoot from the outside.
For around 2 decades, these camps became the scene of numerous individuals losing their lives due to medical negligence, accidents, and taking one's own life. Recent reports indicate that these
Jesus.
places are now completely empty. However, the locals have no specific knowledge about this matter. Currently, Nauru is counting down the days to engage in deep-sea mining in collaboration with the Canada-based metals company. Their plan is to extract polymetallic stones that
Here we
only
go.
move a few millimeters per
Round 2. Go.
years. These stones containing metals such as cobalt, nickel, copper, and manganese found in batteries will be the energy source of the near future. Scientists warn that these mining operations, putting marine life at risk, could potentially reduce
Right.
the ocean's
No.
capacity to absorb carbon
I've already
and
killed everything on land, so now let's kill everything in the ocean as well.
accelerate climate change. The illusion of wealth that suddenly Nauru got itself into in the late 1960s caused a generation to not understand
Hasn't even
the
been 100
importance
years,
of
right?
artwork and education. The government
The same generation, you could be still alive and having lived through it all. The girl was saying her grandma with the pillowcases full of money.
did not make future plans and exhausted all the nation's resources. It seems almost impossible to build a better future here without the necessary motivation, skills, and knowledge. This small island with wounds that can never be healed basically stands before us as a summary of what is going on in the world and as a lesson that humanity should always remember. Thank you for watching this documentary. I hope it added a value to your worldview perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in the next one. Ruhi Chenet was here.
It's sad, right? Because most of the people were, well, it seems like a lot of people were wasting their money, but then at the end, they got fucked over by how the government mismanaged the money. They could have taken all this money and made some smart investments with it, and then they could have kept this going, dude. Free housing, free everything. They had like UBI for a while. Damn. That's kind of crazy. There's a best of internet daily notes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.